Hello everybody, welcome to the first episode of Full Force for Kaladesh. If you haven't tuned into Full Force before, what our goal here is to learn a new format by going over all of the archetypes and forcing that archetype and just kind of seeing what happens when we do that. And we learn a lot on the way. So today we're going to be going over the white-black value deck. So we want to be able to get a lot of 2-for-1s in this deck, so we're looking for cards that'll give us those advantages. There's going to be a lot of things with Fabricate. We're going to be looking for things like commons like Fortuitous Find, the white-black creature that gets back a artifact or a creature from your graveyard is going to be a big pickup for us. So we want to just get a lot of 2-for-1s like that and grind out a lot of value and see where we go from there, see if it's a viable deck. I was going to go over all of the archetypes in this week's article, but instead it turns out that Kenji, or Nuwatanami as you probably know him, already did that and posted it up with Wizards, so I'm just going to link to that in the main article, and we'll dive right into this archetype and see what we can get. So, like I said, we're kind of looking for all those 2-for-1s. The Restoration is going to be a huge card for us. We also want to get, obviously good removal spells like Revoke Privileges and White and things like that. Those are always things that we're looking for. Ooh, Confiscation Coup. Yeah, that is pretty good. Normally, I would say that that's just a slam pick, because obviously Confiscation Coup seems pretty good. Being able to steal an artifact or a creature is fairly strong. I'm going to be taking the Fairgrounds Warden, though, because Fairgrounds Warden looks pretty good. I mean, it is a 2-for-1. That's exactly what we're looking for. Glint Sleeve Artisan, I think, is one of the better white commons to look for in this kind of archetype, or just in general, really. The flexibility of having it with like a 2-2 and getting a 1-1 with it, or having it as a 3-3 is pretty big. We've seen this before. We've seen like the Sandstep Outcast, and then we see Eldrazi Sky Spawner, and now we have Glint Sleeve Artisan. They're all fairly similar. I think this is one of the weaker versions of it, but, well, I mean, I think that it is the weakest version of it, probably. We'll see how the format shakes out. In any case, Fairgrounds Warden does seem to be the easy pick. Ambitious Aetherborn's okay. Acrobatic Maneuver, sure. But I don't want to time down because Magic Online sometimes automatically takes your pick. So we'll just grab this bad boy. And now we've got a Propeller Pioneer. So this can be a 3-2 flyer for 4, which is always good. Or it can just make us a servo. Certainly don't mind that. Again, any of the ones that give us 2-for-1s seem pretty good. Daihund Operative seems quite nice, actually. I might want the Daihund Operative. The 3-2 Death Touch for 2 mana is pretty strong. And I'm thinking that we're going to get a lot of artifacts because we're going to try and fabricate quite a bit. This is a tough choice because they're both good. Like, I think they're both pretty playable, and this is a cheaper card, which is normally a pretty big advantage. Blooming Marsh is probably worth a little bit of money online, maybe like a tick or two. I'm not going to bother with it, though. I mean, we're trying to force things here. This is a decent card. I think we take Propeller Pioneer. Night Market Lookout's a really cool creature to crew vehicles with, but we're not looking at that too much. Now we have Ballista Charger. I don't know that we want that. Fragmentize is interesting. I actually think this is fairly playable. Panharmonicon is something. I mean, we're going to try to get things like Fairgrounds Warden and Pioneer already, so maybe Panharmonicon is good. This would have been really good if we were going for the white-blue bounce deck, which was another deck that we put up in the Twitter poll that I had for which archetype we were going to be playing today. Live Fast is actually pretty interesting. I like this idea a lot. It's a lot of advantage, and that's what we're trying to do. We're just trying to grind out advantage. I feel like I might just take this Panharmonicon to see how deep we can go. It is all about forcing archetypes. And trying to test things. So let's test the limits of the format. Let's grab Panharmonicon and see if we can do something with it. Now we definitely need a lot of Fabricate, because we want to be triggering that. Now we have Harsh Scrutiny is no good. It just doesn't do anything. Metal Spinner's Puzzle Knot lets us draw 2 cards, so that's something, but I think that Live Fast is just better. Ninth Bridge Patrol seems decent, but not amazing. I'll just grab the Live Fast. And now we have Prokhata Pillarbug. What does Inventor's Fair do again? 3 more artifacts gain life. Sacrifice it. Search it for a library for an artifact card. Okay. I mean, it's interesting. I don't know how much we need it. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, you gain an energy. Return target creature you control to its owner's hand. That's another interesting card. We could get a lot of value off that. Dakara Scavenger is not the worst. It sucks that you put the card on top of your library, but I mean, if you're getting back a big card, that's a decent enough advantage too. It's a really slow card. We've got a lot of slow cards so far, so we're going to need to get something cheaper soon. That Dahund Operative looks pretty nice right now. I'm going to try the Dakara Scavenger. I might wheel this Decoction module. Let's see if we can get some value out of that. Ooh, a Lawless Broker. That works Panharmonicon. There's also Thriving Ibex, which becomes a 3/5 when it attacks for 4 mana. Demolition Stomper. Holy cow, that thing's huge, but also very tough to crew. I mean, I think crew of 5 makes that pretty much unplayable for us. Paradoxical Outcome. I'm just kind of remembering all the cards. This is very, very new to me. I'll just take the Lawless Broker here, I think. Sky Swirl Harrier is not terrible, but we want the cheaper cards right now. I'm too worried about getting all of the late game cards and not getting anything early game. We've got a lot of value already. We don't want to get too deep on trying to get late game value and not actually live to the late game. There's another Live Fast. I don't want to take too many of those. Rush of Vitality seems okay. That seems like a good card. So I think I might just take the Rush of Vitality. It seems like Live Fasts are going pretty late, so I should be able to pick up a few if I want them. And I'm not sure how many that I would play. I mean, probably a maximum of 2, maybe 3. There's Acrobatic Maneuver, which is another way for us to get advantage, because we can just bounce our like fabricate creatures and things like that. Now, I think that we just take Fortuitous Find, though. This is generally going to be a guaranteed 2-for-1. We're going to try and get a lot of artifacts. We don't have any yet, so I might be overestimating it. There's Night Market Lookout. I feel like we can get Acrobatic or Maneuvers later. I'm going to try this Fortuitous Find. And I'm hoping we can get like a Filigree Familiar to go with it, because that would be very nice. Filigree Familiar seems like a great card. And it represents a lot of value. For that reason, though, I don't think that card's going to go particularly late. Filigree Familiar, if you're unfamiliar, I guess, is the 3-mana 2/2 that when it comes into play, you gain 2 life, and when it dies, you draw a card. Ambitious Aetherborn could be okay. It's a little expensive, but I don't think that I need a second Rush of Vitality. And Acrobatic Maneuver, yeah, I should be able to pick them up late. I want to have a lot of Fabricate, like I said, so I'll take it. Night Market Lookout. It makes crewing vehicles a little better, so I might grab a couple and see what happens. I'm unlikely to play too many of them, or, I mean, honestly, any of them, unless we get a fair number of vehicles, but I'll take them for now, and we'll see what happens. Glassblower's Puzzle Knot, Fireforger's Puzzle Knot. I'll just take the Fireforger's one, because I think that's a little bit more dangerous for going into the black deck. We've got these Night Market Lookouts that we might play one of. We also have the opportunity to get like the 3/1 Brawler and stuff like that, so there's a few X1s in black that I might not want to have get killed by a Fireforger's. So I'd like to get that Dahund Operative. I need something early. I'm also, like I said, Filigree Familiar is a pretty big pick for us. Obviously, the Restoration creature is always going to be a big one. I can never remember the name of that 2-color creature. What is its name? Ooh, Smuggler's Copter. That card's worth money and seems very good. What else do we have here? Glintsleeve Artisan, which I definitely like. Another Live Fast. Self-Assembler, which doesn't seem great. Yeah, seems pretty easy as a Smuggler's Copter. Smuggler's Copter just seems fantastic. And if we can just discard cards too, then things like Fortuitous Find get a little bit better because we can discard possibly like a artifact or a creature and then rebuy it with a Fortuitous Find. So we can get some value that way. If we don't have any creatures, we can discard cards a little easier and not worry about it too much. Let's grab the Copter. I might actually play a Night Market Lookout just to crew this. I feel like I'd need at least one other crew for one type vehicle to play a Night Market Lookout. The card's not good. You really need some way to utilize it beyond just like one vehicle here. Servo Exhibition, so we can get a couple of 1/1s. There's revoke privileges though, and I think that's the pick here. I like removal. Bomat Bazaar Barge. Bomat Bazaar Barge doesn't seem like a card that we care about. I mean, it's another vehicle, but I don't think that it's particularly strong. It feels like the crew of 3 or more is a little tough. I'm not 100% certain on that, and we'll definitely be testing that out as we go forward with Full Force, but this isn't really the deck for vehicles anyways. That's not really our stated goal here. We're trying to do something quite a bit different from that. And what do we want now? I feel like that the Hunt Operative is pretty big for us. We just need some 2-drops. Puzzle Knot would even be pretty good. Bunch of late game again. There's an Eddy Tailhawk, which does not seem great. It can fly another creature, but I don't know that that's actually that useful. Iron League Steed doesn't seem great. Morbid Curiosity seems terrible. But who knows, maybe I could try it at some point. If we want to go really deep, it is a way to get card advantage. You have to sacrifice something pretty big to actually make it worthwhile. At this point, I think I have to take Eddy Trailhawk, just because I really need to have some kind of 2-mana creatures here. It can actually crew the Smuggler's Copter, so that's a thing. Hawks flying Copters. Who knows what this... This is such a weird format. You can get some strange things going on. Ooh, alright. Visionary Augmenter is pretty good. There's an Eager Construct, which I might even play. Cogworker's Puzzle Knot I wouldn't mind. And that works with the Fortuitous Find. But I think the Visionary Augmenter is enough better that I just take that. Oval Chase Daredevil. Another Fortuitous Find. A Torch Gauntlet. Fragmentize. I think that Torch Gauntlet's not terrible. Just with some of the servos. If you have enough ways to actually fabricate and get servos online, then Torch Gauntlet doesn't seem terrible. Because if you've got a bunch of 1/1s, upgrading them to 3/1s is nothing to scoff at. I don't think the card's great, but there's nothing here that's amazing. It might be Oval Chase Daredevil, just because we do have a couple of artifacts. We have 1, 2, 3, 4... Yeah, 4 so far. 5. Okay, 5 actually. If I want to fabricate. I think I'll take the Oval Chase. Card does seem like it has good potential. And Hardrara Express. We could just drop a train on somebody. I feel like I want Glint Sleeve Artisan though. Prophetic Prism's really good too, but I feel like the Artisan's just gotta be better. We want to get a lot of Fabricate. It's another thing that works with Panharmonicon. It just seems really good. I really like the flexibility of a lot of the good Fabricate creatures, and Glint Sleeve Artisan's one of the nice ones. Especially for a common, it's really good. The late Glint Sleeve Artisan does give me good hope that white's pretty open. Black has been hit and miss. We haven't gotten any real removal spells in black. Most of our black's just kind of there. Now we have Subtle Strike and a bunch of blue cards. Pay 2 energy. You may tap or untap target artifact or creature. That seems pretty good. But I'm not going to be taking it here. Aether Theorist actually doesn't seem the worst either. I had somebody do pretty well against me at the pre-release with that. There's definitely some good blue cards, because Windrake is obviously pretty good too. It's not amazing, but there's a lot of good blue cards here, playable ones. Take the Subtle Strike. Camball, Council of Allocation. Well, it's in our colors, and it is a rare. It seems pretty decent. I mean, a 2/3 that drains them every single time they try and kill it. Pretty nice. Probably just dies the first time they play a non-creature spell, but it's certainly worth putting into your deck. Now we have Live Fast again. I don't think I want a Night Market Lookout. We have 3 in the sideboard if we really want it. And Bastion Mastodon doesn't seem terrible, but we've got some late game stuff already. We'll take the earlier game. I'd like to find a way to use some of this energy, because we're getting a fair bit with these Live Fasts. Maybe the Eddy Trailhawk as well. Take the Acrobatic Maneuver. And another Ambitious Aetherborn. Alright, not the worst. Take it. And Diabolic Tutor. I could take Consulate Skygate. This card is not good, but I kind of just need to live long enough, so maybe I want the Skygate. If I find a bomb, I really want to get Diabolic Tutor, though, so I might get a Skygate later. Torch Gauntlet came back. Because Diabolic Tutor is very playable if you get a really good card. So if we can open like a Gear Hulk or something, then I'm going to slam the Diabolic Tutor. Noxious Gear Hulk. That's what we're looking for. I'll settle for Restoration Gearsmith. I finally found the name of the card. Insidious Will. Counter target spell. You may choose new targets for the spell. Pretty cool. Obviously not for us. Consul Shield Guard is pretty good. It's a way for us to use the energy as well. Make Obsolete seems like good sideboard, but not necessarily insane main deck or anything. Got the Foundry Screecher, which isn't the worst. I feel like I like the Shield Guard. I mean, it's a 3/4 for 4. That's already pretty decent. The extra abilities seem pretty useful. I really want the Cogworker's Puzzle Knot to wheel. Fabrication Module. Whenever you gain 1 or more energy, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. 4 mana, gain energy. The Aradara Express seems pretty good. Die Young. I actually have a lot of energy, so I'm going to take the Die Young here. I'd like to not play this Eddy Trailhawk. I'd like to not play the Torch Gauntlet. Subtle Strike I'm 50-50 on. I really wish I'd taken that Dahund Operative. I didn't realize how much trouble I'd have getting 2-drops, because I just haven't found anything great. I didn't really mean to take the Die Young that quickly either. For some reason, Magic Online now just sometimes grabs the card even if I don't double-click it. I don't know why. If I click it to save it, like, I don't know, 20% of the time it just takes the card. Authority of the Consuls does not seem like it's worth a card. Refurbish doesn't do anything. We don't have nearly enough artifacts to make that worthwhile. We have a bunch of things that make artifacts. We don't actually have many real artifacts ourselves. Like Panharmonicon and Smuggler's Copter are just it. Take the Fortuitous Find instead. Might play a second one. Probably not. Toolcraft Exemplar. Sky Skiff. Impeccable Timing. Glintsleeve Artisan. There's some good cards here. I think Impeccable Timing's pretty decent. But I already have the Die Young, Subtle Strike, Rush of Vitality, like as like removal and or combat tricks, revoke privileges. I think we're okay. And I kind of just want the Glintsleeve Artisan. Trusty Companion, that doesn't seem useful. Impeccable Timing's okay though, like we said. So I'll certainly take that. There's that Demolition Stomper again. Perpetual Timepiece. That is a very weird card. Almost certainly not useful, though. Another Fortuitous Find. I don't need a third. I doubt I'm playing the second. Don't think I need a second Subtle Strike either. Yeah, there's really nothing here that I want. I guess I could Inspired Charge because I do have a bunch of Fabricate, so maybe Inspired Charge is worth it. There's the Cogworkers Puzzle Knot that we've been hoping for. Oh, there you go. Aetherflux Reservoir. You can go up to 50 life and we can kill our opponent. I think we'll take the Cogworkers Puzzle Knot. Malphus Squad's not the worst. I think I'd rather have the Puzzle Knot, though. I said I need the 2-drops. Self-Assembler, Whirlmaker. I'll take the Whirlmaker. It's really slow, but that's okay. We might find a slow grinding game where I can play it. What else am I taking out here? Probably Acrobatic Maneuver. It's an interesting card. It's got some definite implications. Like, if our opponent has a lot of removal, I think I'm going to side in Acrobatic Maneuver so we can remove anything that was targeted and get Fabricate off on it. But I don't feel like I want to main deck it necessarily. Maybe I could main deck it and take out like a Live Fast and then we can split it. I don't have a lot of ways to use the energy off of a Live Fast. Really just Die Young and the Consul's Shield Guard. Out of the sideboard, I could put in Eddy Trailhawk if our opponent doesn't have a lot of flyers. So we can just beat down in the air. Too bad we didn't see any of the Restoration Gearsmiths. Although, we might still get one. We got that Camball very, very late. Or, I think that it's Cumble. Because, like, Rashmi is actually Rushmi. Just with the way the correct pronunciation is. Wow, apparently I'm very tongue-twisted. The correct pronunciation is U, I think, generally for the A. Let's grab the Thriving Rats. If I have a bunch of energy, that does siphon it off. Doesn't seem like the worst idea. I don't need like a Tasseled Dromedary. I could take an Accomplished Automaton if I really need big top end against certain decks. Refurbish, sure. I'll take out one Live Fast. Maybe the Fortuitous Find. I don't actually have many artifacts. Yeah, I'll keep both Live Fasts in. Creeping Mold. Creeping Mold seems pretty decent in this format. I mean, there are a lot of artifacts going around. It's probably sideboard still, but it's worth considering. I don't think any of these really matter for us. We don't have to hate either, because unfortunately, with it being a pre-release, there's no non-leagues yet. I normally like leagues a lot. I think they're really, really good, but for the Full Force episodes, I've been kind of avoiding them, just because I think that it's useful to know what kind of signals and stuff you're passing if you're forcing. When you're forcing, it's a little bit different. It's a very weird way to draft, and I'm not necessarily advocating it, but it does change the way other decks look as well, and that's something to kind of look at and consider. So just something that's going to be a bit different about this one. The advantage is, of course, that we get a little bit of extra play time. So unless we lose 2 in a row, there's no reason to drop out. I'm wondering about this Whirlmaker. It's really slow. I mean, 7 mana to get a 1/1. Yeah, I think that I'd have to just sideboard that in an exceptionally slow matchup, because I'm not main decking the Accomplished Automaton, and that gives you a 5/7 and a 1/1. Or a 6/8 for the same amount of mana that Whirlmaker gives you just one 1/1 flyer. You need to use it over a lot of turns to make it worthwhile. So yeah, I guess this is the deck. It seems okay, not amazing. We have a decent number of removal spells. We've got some of those 2-for-1s I was talking about, some of those nice Fabricate cards. Fairgrounds Warden is interesting. I'm Curious to see how good Panharmonicon will be in this deck. Smuggler's Copter is obviously pretty great. Does tempt me to put in one of those Night Market Lookouts, but I think we're okay just leaving it out. Little light on creatures, but the Fabricate might make up for that. And we do have Cogworker's Puzzle Knot, so we kind of have 14 anyways. Alright, well, let's sort by color, and I believe this is a 10-7. One's 9-8. We don't have any double black is why, but we do have double white. So maybe that's why. All of our black is early. But our white, we have a lot more white creatures on 3 than we have black on 3. Yeah, maybe 9-8 is appropriate. I think the Magic's actually right on this one. So 9-8, save the deck, and we'll go to round 1. This is a tough one. If we draw land, we have Cogworker's Puzzle Knot and Smuggler's Copter, which is definitely tempting. We are on the draw. I'm going to risk it. I'm going to risk it for the biscuit and keep this.